And we are live. Ultra America Podcast, the episode 53. Um, Live this Tuesday, January 22nd, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Twitch.tv/ADJ Plays. We are live. The greatest
Yay.
Japanese pop culture podcast in the universe. So
Probably
great.
not.
I forgot to turn on the introduction little thingy for the Heidi's pointing at. But that's how good we are. You know we're doing an introduction. And as always, I am Manuel, leader of ADJ Connections, always the host here. And as always, kinda, who was not here last week though, I am once again joined by Konaru.
Hi guys, my name is Konaru, also known as 50 I do idol things. I run an idol festival. I run a network for idols. I do a lot of things, and I bamboozle the show a lot because I have poor planning skills.
And
Hi.
not only do you have poor planning skills, you also have potato internet that is like,
I do have potato internet.
it is like chugging so hard right now. Like remember we had not Sylvia when we had what's her name? Megan on. And Megan on. Remember the whole Megan thing. But
Megan.
we had Megan on and the whole thing about getting punched right in the bandwidth. That's you punched right in the bandwidth. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about, and we also don't have a lot to talk about. Some of the things I plan to have us go over tonight. We're talk about ALA. We're going to talk about some recent guest announcements at certain conventions. We're going to talk about oh gosh, Kanar, what were some of the other topics? We actually did have them. I'm not just making this up. Um,
I'll do some commentary on the Maho stuff.
oh yes,
Um, let's see.
I did want to talk about
I
because
don't.
originally this was kind of going to be a soft OIC, the Overseas Idol Collection podcast, and I do want to cover that a bit because there's been a lot of activity I've noticed lately, and I just want to discuss some of that in general for people who
What
aren't in the
activity?
know.
What activity? What are you talking
There's been a
about?
lot of stuff going on. Anyway, and then there's just other nonsense, other news, other BS that we've come across over the past couple weeks. Hey, Ant. Hey, Ed. It's been a while seeing you guys. Okay, oh, and Heidi. Yes, as in joining us in spirit is Heidi. Um, Also, I apologize in advance. I was actually sick on the last podcast, and I think Konaru got sick right after. So we were both really sick during the interim between
I'm
the Yeah,
I'm getting sick
she's still sick.
again.
Yeah,
So
I'm barely getting better. So we were very sick during the interim between the podcasts. So we kind of dropped the ball on scheduling this one, and we didn't want to cancel it because, we're both free, and I kind of had an idea of what I want to talk about anyway. So here we are. Once again, chat is open. We already got Ed and Ant in the chat. Feel free to sound off. Feel free to give us topics or interact with us. It's gonna be a very chill podcast. Very chill.
uh, shout us a spicy vine, and you'll get a shout out.
A spicy vine. Are we gonna do the vines
Yeah,
again? Like,
give us a spicy vine, and we'll recreate it.
are we gonna do the free Shavakadu again with your potato internet? No, but there is a topic I want to talk about from last week that I kind of got into for a second, but it felt weird discussing it with Kelsey and Jasmine because they weren't there. I wanted to not so much to discuss ALA that in depth, but just to give a recap, talk about some of the behind the scenes stories, some of the funny nonsense that went on, and all that good stuff. Um, it's funny because you were there, of course, Konar. How was your ALA for starters?
I mean, it was pretty good. I went last year. I definitely did a lot more ribbon stuff. Oh, I could get out my ribbons for y'all. Um,
Oh,
Funny story though, I actually made ribbons for Overseas Idol Collection, and I got to pass those out to a couple idols to do like promos and everything, and um, saw my friend's band perform on Saturday. One of my friends like had beat seizure Saturday night because pretty sure they accidentally gave him like a medical grade marijuana brownie. So that was fun watching over him. And then I saw Aquarius live.
who was your friend's band on
Did
Saturday?
huh?
Who was your friend's band on Saturday?
Oh, driving recklessly with seatbelts.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Lady singer. Please hit him up if you're a singer. Please. Anyways, um, did some haul shots. Did some coverage of like a Love Live gathering because they asked me to, and then I did like a sponsored photo shoot for my overseas data collection mentorship program. Gave someone some pictures, and yeah. Oh, and then of course I did panels as well, but that's not important.
Oh, that's not important at all. Fun anecdote that I want to share from ALA is we took a group photo, and or let me rephrase that.
Oh my
So we
god!
all gathered together after our last panel. We
The
had four
one
panels.
time, the one time I actually stay for a group photo.
Yeah, we were supposed to take one last year, and Konaru just bounced like right away. And then like stupid Manuel, I should have just took it then because there were still like 10 of us there. Um, but when she left, I was like, okay, I guess everyone just dispersed. We'll meet up again later, and we never did. So this year,
Never did.
yeah, this year we were gonna do it after our last panel. There was very few of us though. It was me, Konaru, Tiffany, Angie, Molly, Eunice, and Garway. And so we're all there. We get in a picture. Which, by the way, it's funny because like Ada J is like very like they're very. I mean, once again, I think Rose always put it best. You know, gender doesn't matter, and I still agree with that too. Gender doesn't matter. But Ada J Connections is a very female, not female centric, female heavy in terms of membership group. So I was the only guy present, representing Ada J Connections. So all the pictures, even in preview form, like this looks like a really bad harem picture, like a harem anime, and but nobody gets to see those pictures because it turns out we didn't take them.
But we do have one picture of us. It's a
Yes,
drawing.
it's a
It's a drawing.
it's a drawing that Rachel did of us at the Idol Variety panel. You can see that on our Twitter and on our Facebook. But yeah, we took a group picture and it didn't turn out. It turned out that the guy I set to like do the camera, he did not know how to work a camera, and that was very upsetting.
I know. I was like, as my photographer-ness was like really, really up there. Like,
Dude, I literally set everything up. All he had to do was press the button. And I
what
don't.
button?
I mean, whose idea to start messing with the camera is to hit the buttons in the back, like the million little ones? He's like hitting things. I don't know what he did, but he obviously backed out of the picture taking mode. Um, and then Eunice's friend Stephanie stepped in to take pictures instead, and she pressed the button too. I don't know what she was seeing. I heard it click too though. I don't know if any preview was coming up. It was just clicking like a shutter click, but none of those pictures took. And I'm not gonna lie. I think part of me knew. Like, I didn't think that they didn't turn out because I did notice the flash didn't go off because the flash went off for the first one, but didn't for the next. And that's not totally unusual. But in my head, I was like, these pictures probably look terrible. I'm going to edit them, so I didn't even want to look at them until like I was like long home. And when I finally did, I was like, oh shit, they're not even there. There's only one picture that took, and it was the test one I did, where I'm actually not looking at the camera. Um, Maybe I'll put that one up, and I'll just edit it a little. I mean, I won't. I can't edit myself, so I'm looking at the camera, but I'll edit it a little because that one also it's a little like the color's all wonky. To be fair, I'm not the only one not looking at the camera. But anyway, ALA was a lot of fun. Otherwise, we did our panels. The Edoguro panel was a lot of fun, even though I don't remember any of it. Um, the Idol 18 Plus panel was a lot of fun, even though I didn't don't remember
You
any
know
of it
what
either.
sucks? You know what sucks though?
What?
The variety panel.
Okay, so Ed.
Explaining
Okay,
time.
yeah. So we have a panel that we call the variety panel, and basically it's a lot of variety show type games mixed in with some American game show type games. So imagine Family Feud and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but idol slash anime versions of those mixed in with like we did a drawing game. The Who's Picasso. We did basically a telephone drawing game. We did a few other things, And hey, what's up? 123 MG. I can't read that. Sorry. What's up? It is interesting. So, anyways, so we did a couple other things like that, like the drawing one. We did the thing with the tube. We did the a lie
The
detector game.
tube still doesn't work. I
Okay,
keep telling you.
I'm not joking with you. The tube always works when we're not there. When we're not. I don't know if it's like just the pressure.
I call bullshit. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so let's back up and tell this whole story though. So um the panel went fine at ALA last year. There was a pretty good amount of people in attendance. There was a lot of things going on. There was more people on the panel. Like we had a performance by Molly and Kaylee. We had another performance, by
Yes.
Des
Okay.
Pandes,
Yes. He
huh?
said it. It said it. Lose the tube. Like we need to lose the tube.
Oh, for the Idol Star Athletics thing to come out. I have no idea what that is, but um, yeah, we're losing the tube. Uh, I don't know because it works. Okay, okay. To be fair, we tried popcorn at home because that's what Beck told us. Beck is like, okay, for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about by the tube, there's a very famous video. It's Aki-P 48 thing. It's funny because one of them went viral, but they've done it several times where they put like a cicada into a tube and they blow it. Now you might see this by looking up like oh, girl swallows cockroach or whatever whatever the heck the catchy headline might be, and they blow, and into the tube. And the idea is when one of them doesn't blow enough, it's like they swallow it and they have to eat it. At the very least, bite. I don't have to eat it, but yeah. So we've tried that at every panel. And it's never worked, but between Fanime and this year's ALA, we got the tube. And Beck, who was one of our hosts at Fanime, by the way, to wrap up that story, so it was fine at ALA. We had a lot of things at ALA. We had Cheeseburger Chan have her little thing. We had a lot of performances by actual guests, like as in people that aren't us, um, that were pretty big. Like, and Kaylee's really big, like in the voice acting world. So it was cool that she performed for us and things like that. And then Amanda, one of the people who performed with us at ALA last year, she's now like doing idol activities in Japan, like kind of like similar to Heidi. So that was cool too. So there was so much going on at that panel. Fanime, it had less of that, but more of the games actually worked, and then more of them were actually like fun and interactive. But yeah, the tube didn't work there either, and one of our panelists like try popcorn. So I go home and we tried popcorn, like me and my roommate, and it worked. It worked. And
So okay, stop here. So why did we use popcorn?
okay, so for the record, in case you guys wonder what we did use, we used a bean
Jelly
boozled,
beans
yes,
again.
which I think is too small. That's I think the issue.
It's not too small. It's too dense.
That's probably exactly what it is. It needs something for the air to go through. Um,
That's why popcorn works because it's light and fluffy and
I don't,
full of.
well, okay. So, I originally was gonna use the popcorn that, that, my niece, I hung out with my family a lot for the holidays, whatever. But my niece had these popcorn bags that she had from Halloween, and I think they're old. She's gonna throw them away. She kept asking if I wanted them. I'm like, sure. And I kept forgetting to bring them because of family nonsense. But then I finally went to go get them right before ALA, and I can only assume she'd thrown them away by that point. So I'm like, oh, I had to go buy popcorn. And the obvious thing is popcorn, but I don't know if we had a microwave, whatever. So anyway, we did go to Target.
Dude, I had a microwave. I was at like
The
the
residence?
residence.
Oh my
I
god.
could have cooked. Why didn't no one mention this to me? I could have made this better.
Anyway, point is, we didn't. I was gonna tell a whole long story about going to Target. We forgot the popcorn. That's it. That's the end of the story, and we messed up. Um, the Olympics or K-pop stars. Sorry, I'm reading more of the chat about what the idol. Excuse me, the idol star athletics is. But anyway, so yeah, the tube is out of the question. But some of the other games that have worked in the past did not work there. Um, Now I blame Tiffany for this. Because Tiffany wanted to try out shocky things. Okay, we do a lie detector game where it shocks you if you lie.
It doesn't work.
No,
It
no,
never.
no, 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 no. They worked. No, and this is true too. You can ask Tiffany this. They worked at home. I'm not gonna lie. One. No, wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. One worked better than the other. But when we took them out to try them out in the room, they worked there too. That's the thing. They worked in the room. But because we took them out, and I don't know whose fault who didn't put them away, but only one of them got put back in the bag for starters. So that screwed us up to begin with. That one was left in the room, and then for some reason it wouldn't work there. But when we got back to the room, actually, it wasn't even. Yeah, it was that night actually, because that was the night Tiffany and Angie stayed with me. Um, it worked in the hotel room again, and we're like, what the hell were we doing wrong? To be fair, I don't know. I don't know. That just didn't want to work, and the other one works way better, and that's the one we forgot. Um, I'm gonna replace the one that doesn't work as well, and because the other one works really, the other one probably works too well. I think it shocks you for almost everything, and the other one actually has a vibration setting too that you can also put if you're scared to get shocked. Um,
I
but
can't get shocked because
yeah,
like I'll fucking die. Like I'll actually die probably.
but yeah, so I need to replace that one. I think I'm gonna put for those of you who are wondering what the hell exactly we're talking about for some of these things. I think I am gonna put the ALA version of the panel on YouTube. Not the one, not this ALA, because this one was bad. And there's actually still more to talk about. But I mean the one we did last year. I think I'll put that on YouTube. Um, I'll cut it up so it moves faster because we had all these moments where we had to set up because we didn't really rehearse it. So we had all these moments where it took us like 5 minutes to get things back on track. I'll just cut all that out. But but that would be fine if those didn't work. Actually, it was like when things started breaking and wasn't working, I was like, oh my god, thank God we have the Family Feud and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing. And to this second,
That was pretty fun.
no, I don't know what happened for Family Feud. I don't know what happened to those PowerPoints, but they would not open. They kept saying they were broken, that they were corrupt. I don't remember what it said. They're broken. Let's try to fix them. I hit yes, and they're like, oh, can't work. Um, once it, those never worked. Like they didn't work at home. They didn't work in the hotel either. But they worked on the USB drive I had, which I wish I would have remembered I had. So I could have plugged it in. I can only assume that when I copied the file over, it didn't fully copy. I've never seen it stay. Like usually when something doesn't fully copy, it just it deletes itself. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I guess it didn't fully copy. It somehow got corrupted in the transfer. But it worked off the USB. But I forgot I had that because I was panicking because nothing was working. And we were able to do the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing because I still had it on the PDF. So we just scrolled through the answers. I mean the answers, the questions. Fun fact: even though I wrote them all, there was a couple questions I did not know the answer to off the top of my head, and I just assumed that that everyone else would know, and I can only assume they did. But remember the
I was
pre.
really I was no, I was really offended by the Shigo Kara one.
Oh my god, okay. I'll admit that's a little semantics about but that's still the answer. Well, all of you were all like, they're all the right answer, and you guys were they're all the
Yes,
wrong
they
answer.
are.
You all got me.
Have you watched the show?
It's not called like Diamond or whatever. What's it called? It's I forgot what it's called, but it's called something else.
It's called Amulet Diamond, something
It's
like
not
that.
Diamond. It's something else. It admittedly was a bad question, but it was meant to be one of the higher. I mean, not a bad question. It was admittedly a kind of a trick question, but it also was like question number 13, so it was meant to be hard. Um,
Sure, sure.
but I liked how nobody even answered yet, and all of you were like, "They're all the wrong answer," or whatever. Whatever, technically, they're all because you got to pick the one that was, yeah, and nothing.
I just love how we all ganged up on you.
Oh, Wesley, we're talking about how bad ALA was. If you wanna, we're talking about I don't think you went to the panels, Wesley. I see you in the chat there. But yeah, we're talking about how crazy they are. Anyway, so now y'all might be like, "Hey, well, this sounds like a mess of a panel." Don't worry, Don't
Cause
worry, guys,
yes,
because you know what makes it best? The part that we haven't said at all yet. Only like 4 or 5 people went. Uh, um.
they were
So.
still pretty. They were still pretty good crowd though.
Yeah.
They definitely, they were definitely into it by the end.
Yeah, and they were definitely. We were all doing our best. Um. But there was like 5 of us on the panel. There was 5 of us in the audience. It was very much like it. Um. If Family Feud did work, I don't know how we could have played it unless some of us got into it. Um. I already did a couple surveys of Family Feud, so I'm definitely bringing it back to Fanime. Um, we're definitely Ed. We're bringing it back to Fanime. The tube is gone. We already got rid of the mystery box for this one because that never works either. I want to try some of that spinny game where you play the Mario thing. That's not really a game, but you know. And you know
I
what's
love my favorite one that we always do is the drawing one.
yeah, the drawing one is great. That's actually where we got that picture. Well, we didn't draw it for that, but one of our people, like who was sitting in the audience, well, not our people, not A to J, but one of our like friends, drew that of us like on the notebook on one of the game notebooks. Um,
That's cute.
which by the way were really hard to find this time around, because I actually have them. Wait, can I actually reach them from where I'm at? Yeah. It's these notebooks. I don't know if y'all frequent a lot of dollar stores. Um,
It's like
so
the big like rectangle ones, right?
yeah, so you would think these are. Who drew this? I've never seen this before. Who drew this?
Do what?
This.
Hold on, I can't see. I can't see. I'm looking at. Oh, I don't know.
Who drew that? Someone drew that in the book, and it's like it's that clearly was not part of the game. Like somebody must have just been messing with them. Probably someone in my room. They were just messing with. Anyways, anyway, my point is this is one. There's actually 4 of them. I can't really reach them all, but I could not find these. Like I went to a bunch of dollar stores. Well, first because I bought them at a Dollar Tree, like you know the Dollar Tree store. So I went back. They didn't have them. Of course, they had no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but they didn't have them. So I'm like, screw you. I went to a different one. They didn't have it. I'm like, okay, maybe not Dollar Tree. So I went to the 99-cent store. You know the 99-cent only stores. They didn't have them.
Huh?
I went to like two.
Dude,
And
y'all have. Okay, this is so off topic, but sorry, that's a burp. Y'all have fancy ass 99-cent stores,
oh,
TBH.
Wesley was part of this panel. I forgot he was there. Anyway, sorry. We have what 99-cent stores?
Y'all have fancy 99-cent stores. I went to one and I was like, wow, this is clean
Oh yeah.
and new.
No, it's funny you say that because also not to go too. We'll come back to the panel. Don't worry. But it's funny you say that because I saw like a retail archaeology video. I don't know if you know that guy from YouTube where he goes to like dead malls and shit like that. But
Oh, I love that dude.
yeah, so on one of the episodes, he went to a 99-cent only store and he was talking about like you know how terrible the 99-cent only stores are because apparently they're on the verge of bankruptcy right now. Or they were. I think they got bought out. But anyway, I mean, they're bought out by like a company that's still maintaining them as a brand. They didn't get bought out and taken over. So, anyways, but he was showing a store that was terrible, and I'm like, dude, it's like you just have like like what's up? I think he's in Arizona. I'm like, what's up with you guys? That's more of a you know a regional issue. But anyway, jumping back to this, so I went to all these stores, and I had to go to. I even started going to like hole in the wall 99-cent stores, like mom and pop ones, you know, around. And
Yeah.
and literally, no joke, like the day before I had to leave for ALA, I found them in one of these kind of mom and pop ones that was about like no joke about like 10 minutes from like my parents' house because I was staying with them for a brief period because of family things. Um, so what's I saying here? Oh, so I found it there and I was like, what the hell? It's like they've been here this whole time. And anyway, that's a fun game. I'm keeping those. I should have bought more than the 4 just in case because I think we're gonna run out of paper. But I'm keeping those. That game's fun. But yeah, like I'm saying, there was only like 5 people in the audience. And what's also sad is we had some. We didn't have any like idol prizes, but we had a lot of things from Dice, like a lot of candy and fun things that everyone just kind of got to take a bunch of handfuls because half the games didn't work. And
Yeah, I felt really bad. So I was like, here, like I took out the bag and I was like, choose your prize.
yeah, but we had good prizes. which I think I actually owe her for it. I
I
don't.
wanted, I
I
wanted
never.
that poppin' cooking.
I
I
wanted it
want
too.
pop.
Well, I didn't want it like I wanted to like take it home. I wanted to do it in the room. That seemed like a very
That's what
fun.
I wanted. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that should be something we. That should be like a game for everything. We should do
Yeah.
like a pop cooking.
You know what? We should do that.
No.
No. We should do a pop. We should have like two of you guys do the pop and cooking thing, like in the background, or like maybe one of us and like an audience member. And obviously, it takes more time, so we'll give you guys like 10 minutes or whatever. I don't know what the time. Some of them I think say how long they take, so we'll give you that
Some of them
time.
require microwaves too, so we gotta be
Oh no,
careful with
yeah.
that.
So I don't think that many of the pop and cooking ones do. I think those are just like mix. But anyways, I'll keep an eye on that. I'll tell you guys the time, and then we'll check in on you between the other games, and then somebody wins. I don't know. We'll do that. It's a good idea. So anyway, um, yeah, I don't know. That panel was a mess. But also it was day one at like 3, and day one, even though they're trying hard to make day one into day one, but this is only the second year it's officially day one, and this is the first
I didn't
year.
even. I
Huh?
didn't even know there was like Thursday was day one until
Yeah,
I got there.
because ALA has always been a 3-day con for most of its life, and I think actually this might be the third, but at some point they extended it to 4, so day 0 became day 1. Um, but a lot of people still don't know that, still don't want to accept that, and this was the first year they opened everything. Like I think last year even like they did panels. We didn't do any, but they did panels, and they didn't open the exhibit hall. They didn't open Artist Alley. They just did panels. But this year they opened everything, and a lot
I
of
didn't
people
even
did.
know everything was open.
Yeah, everything was open. You could have gone to everything. Um, what
Wow.
also sucked is I don't want to rag on ALA because we were guests there, but I at first I thought because everybody kept getting mad at me because I had to like they're like, why'd you do a panel on Thursday? We're not going Thursday. And it was very hard for me to get people to even do it. Like Angie wasn't there. I had to specially arrange Tiffany to be there. Konaru was barely there. Molly was barely there. Like as in both of you were like both of you showed up at the con minutes before that panel, basically. Or actually, you were a little bit more than that,
Okay,
but you know,
actually, I was like an hour and a half before. And I got
yeah,
some Thomas, Wendy's, went to your room, then we went back to the other room, and we did the panel. So I was actually the earliest out of everyone, I think.
yeah. Like everyone's kind of showing up like kind of late, and admittedly so, because that's nobody really thought they had to be there like that early.
Also, Molly had her own panel like right before, like as like ours was beginning, hers was just about to end.
I know, so it was a mess. But so everybody was blaming me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." So I thought it was me. So anyway, when ALA was done, I actually went over the emails, and I'm like, "I never put Thursday." And I talked to another panel friend of mine, and he had panels on Thursday too, and it was the same thing. It's like I actually made sure not to check Thursday, and they put them on Thursday anyway. So I can only assume that they moved people there because like they wanted to make it. Probably because nobody wanted to do Thursday, for the same reason we didn't want to. That we feared nobody would be there. Which for especially for the variety note, even the 18 plus idol panel, I'm pretty sure any other night we had an okay turnout. We had like what, like 15, 20 people there for that one. But any other night, I'm pretty sure that would have had the same turnout as the non 18 plus one, like about 40, 50 people. So I
That
was
was so fun.
what the regular idol one.
No, 18 plus and well, yeah, both of them were pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Um, I like Tiffany's performances. Well, Tiffany and Angie's performance. Sorry, Angie. I like Tiffany and Angie's performances at both of them. Especially at the non 18 plus one. They did the what's that? They did a Plastic to Mercy, the Gang Parade song. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But but yeah. So like I don't know. The panel was fun, but it was well, it ended up being okay, and we had fun. But it definitely was a fail. Um, literally. Oh, and then I'm not even mentioning the million little things. The fact that we couldn't get the damn computer to hook up, like the screen, the HDMI thing. Um, the fact that I felt we didn't have enough mics. That we couldn't really unhook the chairs the way I wanted to. There was a lot of little things, and I hurt my hand on that stupid bell. I don't know why I keep hitting that so hard. Um, But I don't know. We're definitely doing it again at Fanime. I was thinking about retiring it because I was so disheartened by that panel. Like we've done it 3 times, and don't get me wrong, it hasn't gotten worse. But that third one was like really bad. Like everything that could have gone wrong at a panel went wrong at that panel. Um,
Well, I mean, at least everything went wrong at that panel, so that way nothing else went wrong the
yeah.
rest of the
To be
weekend.
fair, all the other panels I think were fine. Like I can't. On the non 18 plus idol panel, for the first time ever, we went under time. And actually, I don't know if you noticed, but I was a little worried. I'm like, oh shit, we're at the end of the panel. We still have 5 minutes, and I didn't mean to do that. And it's funny because I skipped 2 slides earlier, but I didn't skip those that I thought we were running out of time. I skipped them because I didn't want to do them. I was like, I meant to take those out and I didn't. Um, that was a good panel, and also, I think I don't know if it's because we've paneled so many times together, like me, you, Angie, and Tiffany. If not all together, but definitely like in separate ways, like in separate
Uh huh.
formations. Um, I think we've reached the right level of like contributions. Because there've been some panels in the past where I feel like I just do all the talking, kind of like I'm doing this podcast. Sorry, Konaru, I'm kind of like I don't think I let you talk that much, but
No, I really don't want to talk.
no.
Because, like,
Also,
I'm dying, like, right now. My throat's really dying.
no. And your potato is internet. Your internet is potato right now.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I also that too. I don't want to, like, risk talking and then I get cut out
yeah.
or something else.
Oh my god, I bit my thing.
Exactly.
But but all the panels, actually, except for the Edakura one because I don't remember that one. um, so I don't know how good Rachel did. Um, but
I
all the
peeked
other
in. I passed by and peeked in because I wanted to see how y'all were doing else. And it looked like everyone was having fun, so I assumed y'all were having fun.
um now I don't know how much I should talk about like drunken antics for the sake of professionalism. Um, but we let's just say the two 18 plus panels were really late. Um, actually the Edakura one wasn't that late. It's like at 10 o'clock, but well not that late for in terms of ALA. But the 18 plus idol panel was like at midnight.
Oh my
So
god, I was dying at
oh
that
yeah,
panel.
no
I was,
that panel was my favorite one because um so we were drinking before it. Now, don't get me wrong. I knew we had a panel to do, and I knew we had to walk all the way to the fucking DoubleTree, which is basically it was at a different hotel than we were in. So I knew we had to walk. So I intended to drink, but not drink that much. So like, don't get me wrong. I was pretty buzzed, like borderline lower level drunk. And I'm like, okay, guys, let's go. So I start getting up to leave. We're grabbing our stuff, and then one of our friends walks in, and it's funny because the friend who walked in brought in all these people with him, and those other people showed up at the panel, and we're like, "Hey, what's up?" Because we saw them in the hallway, and they came in, they were at the panel for like a half hour, and then they left. I never saw him again that night. Anyway, they come in, they're like, "Hey, we came to party with you." I'm like, "We have to go for a panel. Like, you get some shots first?" I'm like, "Sure." So I ended up taking like 4 more shots with them, and I legit forgot about the panel. Like Tiffany's still there. Tiffany's like, man, we have to go. And I'm like, party. And then Tiffany and I was there with Isaiah too. They just left. And I
oh
started,
yeah, they told me. They were like, yeah, Neil's behind us. He's coming.
oh, yeah, no. I was not coming. Like, I followed them. I don't know how I got there. But somehow I got to the parking lot, like the really long parking lot, and I hadn't walked that way before. Like, if you remember Konaru, when I went to the room earlier with you, we walked all the way around. That was the only time we ever did that. Every other time we cut through the parking lot. So, I didn't know how to get there from the parking lot. Like, I just knew because the guy kept telling us, like, oh, go to the parking lot, it's faster. So I got lost. I was kind of just wandering around, and this cosplayer guy, um, it was like, "Where are you going?" I'm going to the DoubleTree. He's like, "You're going the wrong way." He's like, and he's like, I felt so bad because he was there with a couple friends, and he's like, don't." He's like, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna take off anyway. I'm leaving anyways." He's like, "Come on, I'll take you over there." And he took me like really close until literally the DoubleTree is like, "No, all you have to do is walk between the buildings." If it wasn't for him, I would have never
Jesus
made it.
Christ.
I would have never
Oh
made
my
it.
god.
And I don't know why Tiffany left me. What was she gonna do there? Like, I had the laptop.
I mean, she could have just plugged in her phone
And
through the
performed.
box. Yeah,
Um,
I would have set that shit up.
so yeah, they ditched me, and I made it there eventually. And
TBH, I totally did you too.
um, yeah, so they ditched me. I even because I was there with Yuji, the one who had the prizes, and like I don't know, she didn't know where to go either. I think she was also drunk, but she didn't know where to go either, because she wasn't being all that helpful. I mean, I don't want to talk crap. She just didn't know. It's not that, like she wasn't being helpful. I shouldn't say that, but she didn't know that shortcutty thing either. Um, I don't know. That was a mess. That was a mess. I don't know. It was amazing I got there in time. The Edoguro one, the Edoguro one's another story. So I also got drunk that night too, but that night we kind of just overdid it, and then like I left, and to this day I don't know how I got there. A friend of mine took me to the entertainment lounge, like the where the bar is. Ironically, I didn't drink there, but where the bar is in the convention center, he took me there. No, I don't think he took me there to bring me close to the panel. I think he just took me there to sit me down because that's where he had to be. He was like emceeing. So he took me
Hmm.
there, and he took me to one of the couches. Like, here, just sit here for a minute, man. You need to sit down. So I sat down, and then eventually I saw someone else, and they're all like, "Hey, don't you have a panel coming up?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," and they took me to the panel room,
Oh yeah, I like that.
and they
Oh
and
yeah.
they took me to the panel room, um,
Jesus Christ, Manuel.
and so yeah, and I don't remember that panel at all. And because I left by myself, I had my laptop surprisingly. I didn't bring in the cameras, and nobody else thought to bring them, so that one's not filmed. Which might or might not be for the best. I mean, we probably would have never uploaded it anyway because it's 18 plus, and that's a hard 18 plus, by the way. Um, I also got to remember that the new 18 plus idol one is also hard in some points. No pun intended. Um, like we actually showed this time around. We showed a lot of nudity, and we showed an actual Yu and Mikami porn clip. Solo though, not boy girl. Mainly because I still don't really know if I want to show that at Idol panel at all. Um, but that's another story. Um, anyway. Oh wow, I didn't
It
mean
was fun.
to. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot
Yeah.
we were doing a podcast here. Just checking in. Anyone who's still with us, anyone who's who might have tuned in the meantime. This is ATG Connections. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for staying with us. Ultra Podcast Z. We're talking about ALA 2019, and I actually didn't really talk about this long, but there's still more I want to talk about. I'm sure Konaru has more to share too. If you want us to move on, let me know. But I still have more anecdotes to
Never.
share.
Also, never forgetting the car fire of
No,
ALA.
that's what I want to talk about in a second, but not yet, because I think once we talk about that, I feel like the ALA story is done because that's where the party
That's
died.
like the cherry. That's like the cherry on
Yeah,
top of a good.
we'll come.
You know it's a good con weekend when that
Oh
happens.
yeah,
When that shit
we'll come
happens.
back to that because the from there on the party's done. So yeah, we did that. I talked about the picture not taking, which is very upsetting. Um, so the Edokudo panel went off. That was okay. Fun fact: we went to the swap meet, and that was right before the Edokudo panel. And once again, I don't know how professionalism. If there's parts of the story I'll leave out, but we go downstairs to the swap meet. Now this is going on in the hotel we're staying at because everything at this fucking con was split up. Okay, here's the convention center. This is where the main stuff is happening. There's a hotel here and a hotel here. And this one on the right, like this is a weird map, but this one on the right has all the panels, and this one on the left has like the tabletop gaming, has a swap meet, has like karaoke and a bunch of other things. So everything's split up, like really split up. And from that hotel to that hotel was a really long walk. Um, so anyway, the reason I bring that up is because the hotel we were at didn't have the panels, but did have stuff like the swap meet. So the swap meet was happening, and I go downstairs. So we all want to go to it, and it should have already opened, but we were still drinking in the room. It's like okay, it should be open now. So we go down there to go to it, and we see the line, but we assume the line is just like people who can't fit in the room yet. So I actually brought my badge. This is our guest badge. You can see we were guests of the con.
We had thick badges. I
I
loved
know
it.
they're thick. And there's the Overseas Idol Collection ribbon, by the way.
Hey.
I still have my ribbons, but they all fell off, and I haven't had a chance to tape them back on yet. But
See, I had a roll of tape with me the whole weekend just so I could be like,
oh my
and
god,
slap on.
you're that ribbon centric. Anyway, so we go down to the swap meet, and like mind you, I would have did this even when I was sober. But we go down to the swap meet, and my whole plan was because I have a guest badge. I think I was the only guest in that group though, my little group of like 5 or 6 people. But I have a guest badge, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I think this is a perk, and we've done it before, like in the past years. I'm like, I'm a guest, can I just go in? And I didn't know they weren't open yet. I thought they were already open. And so they were kind of like, okay. The guy was like, okay, that's fine. He wasn't so much questioning that. He was like, I have this entourage of like 5 or 6 people. It's like, are all they guests? I'm like, oh yeah, they're all guests too. They're all my people. And he didn't really question it. That's not the issue. But as soon as we're discussing this, this other guy comes out from inside. He's like, okay, everyone, the swap meet is now open. It's like everyone like, let's go in. They're all cheering. They're all cheering because the swap meet's open. You know, the line's about to move. And the guy I'm talking to is the line manager guy. He's like, okay, you guys can go in. And we went in first. We cut everyone in line who had been waiting there probably for more than an hour, especially people we cut, because that line was
I
long.
wanted to go to it too,
That line was
and I didn't
long.
even think of use. I wanted to go to it too, and I didn't even think of. I totally forgot. I just had like a guest badge, and I could have cut
Oh
for
yeah,
a lot of shit.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like I think that's part of the perk, and we've done it before. So I guess you can kind of say I'm not misusing. I used it, but I did kind of misuse it when I let in the other 5 or 6 people. But everyone booed. Everyone in because they were cheering because they were line in, and then we came out of nowhere seconds before they opened the door, and we got to go in first. And everyone was like, "Boo!" And it was the funniest thing ever. And some of the people in our party were like more sober than we were, or some of them were just sober. Some of them didn't drink at all, and they were all like, "Oh man, that was pretty awkward." They all just booed us. I'm like, "Were they actually booing us?" Like, yeah, they were booing us. And
You have
then,
to be that petty to start like a booing like that. Like
I
seriously,
mean, it's
that's just so. I don't know. I find that really immature.
and
Like,
they came in right after us, and
yeah, I know. Like you're eventually gonna get it anyways. Like,
yeah,
what's the
no,
point?
and the people who saw everything, the people who saw everything and directly booed us, they went in with us. It just happened to be that we went in first. The people way in the back probably had more of a right to boo because they had no idea what just happened. But then again, they have no idea what happened. For all they knew, we were actually selling and we just like going to the front. Um, but but yeah, and then but I go inside, and as soon as I'm inside, I'm like, why the hell am I here? I don't want to buy anything. I didn't want to spend money, but I bought some amiibos. And just remember that I bought 3 amiibos. There's more to the story in a second, but I bought 3 amiibos. I put them in my pocket. I forget all about them. So I go around the corner, and there's this guy. Oh, I can reach it. Hold on. I actually have them. Hold on. Shit. There's a guy. There's a box too, but I'll just leave it there. It's too hard to get to. Who was selling the Photo Kono games for PSP?
Mhm.
Now, for those who don't know, these are like photography games where you take pictures of anime girls on the PSP. I
I
know
love those.
I know the
I
series.
love.
One of them was the collector's edition that comes with all the shit. It's in a box. I don't really want to get to it, but anyway, there's one for the Vita. I think it's a cool series. So anyway, he was selling one for 28, or might have been more, but I want to say my memory says 28, and that was a special edition one. The first one that was like 28, and then the other one was 20. He was selling them separately. I walked up to him. I'm like drunk off my ass. I deadpan looked him in the eye, and I'm like, I picked them up too. Like I had them in my hands. I picked them up, and I'm like, I'll give you 20 for both. And like he just looked at me, and he was like, and like, I don't want to speak ill of the guy, but it's clear that I don't want to say I intimidated him, but it was clear that he was like, he wasn't the most forceful person. I'm sure, on the everyday basis. So I
Like
almost
he was timid.
yeah, timid. That's the word. So yeah, he was very timid.
He was
Okay,
very
that's
timid.
the word. I can't think of
Yeah.
that word. He was very timid, and like he was very like And like I didn't see anything else. I just stared at him. I was holding him and I just stared at him. And like and he was sharing it. I think everybody was sharing a table. He had like half a table with someone else. And I don't think he knew the other guy. The other guy was just staring at me like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I just stared at him like, $20 for both. And he's like, "Oh, oh, oh, okay." And then I gave him
Oh
$20.
my god!
And then I gave him the $20 and left. And like, at the time, I was like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, "Why do I even want these?" I cleaned them up. I did actually. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have bought them if I was sober. Mainly because I think I owned the first one already for starters. But
Give me it. I want to
um,
play it.
so I probably wouldn't have bought them for a lot of reasons. But I was like, I was fine with it. That first one was a special edition one, so I don't have that stuff. Um, but I just didn't want to spend money. But I was just like, dude, I just bullied that guy into giving me the expensive one for free. Even like $20 for both. I'm like,
But you drunk bullied him.
yeah, and I felt
That's
like a
worse than
yeah.
like
Don't get
regular
me wrong. Don't get me
bullying.
wrong. I felt like a monster. Um, but
Did it click like 20 seconds later? Like, wow, I'm an asshole.
no, it didn't click until I got back to the room. Cause actually, I ended up staying to talk to some friends. I actually saw some friends. I kept talking to them in the swap meet, and then I was just like drunk talking. You just keep talking and talking and talking, but like not like this. When you're just talking about nonsense, like real nonsense. Um, and after a while, I was kind of sobering up a little. I'm like, oh, what am I doing? It's like I've been here with these guys for like an hour talking to them, so I let. Oh, I think you know her, the Alice. The she does Fanime. I think you were part of that picture. Oh, you weren't there. Never mind. You weren't part of that picture. You don't know all the.
Yes.
You don't know. Well, you might know her anyway because she's friends with like Sarah and Tiffany and Angie and all
Yeah.
them.
No, I saw her a
So
couple of
you know
times.
Alice, right? Yeah. So, anyways, it
Yeah.
was her and her boyfriend, and they weren't the ones I bullied, but it was her and her boyfriend that I saw, and I was talking to them for like an hour in the swap meet. Um, Cause like I know them, but they're those kind of people I don't really know, and I haven't like had a conversation with them in like years. So, anyways, um, so so I ended up going back to the room. Everyone's already there. Like they've already long since gone there. Fun little side note. On my way back to the room, I ran into some friends in the line. Like half. The line was still out the door, by the way. But when I was leaving, there was like people halfway into the line. I'm like, hey, yo, what's up? And they're good friends. So we're all hugging and high fiving. And I told them the story about how I got in. Because they were drinking with us earlier. Like they didn't come down with us, but they were drinking with us earlier. And I told them the story like, oh yeah, I'm a guest, and I just cut the line. And and there was a staffer who was like, "Really? You gonna cut the line?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. It's part of being a guest here." Um, and the staffer's like, "Oh, okay." So I leave. It turns out that those people I left, I guess they kind of bullied the staffer into letting them cut. They're like, "Oh, he's like, we're guests of the guest. Can we go?" And they went in, and they cut the line too. Um, I didn't find that out till the next day though. And they told me it's like, "Oh, dude, like you don't know. Like after you left, we convinced the staffer that we were your guests. So they let us cut the line too."
Oh my god.
But
Why are you so bad?
I don't know. So I get back to the room, and it was there when I was telling everyone what I bought. I only told them that game though, because that's all I saw. Excuse me, that was all I saw. I still forgot about the amiibos I got, but I saw the games and I showed them. I told them the story, and I'm like, God, I'm an ass. And we were all just making fun of me for a minute. I remember Yuji, one of our roommates, she got like a really cool Card Captor Sakura board game, and I wish that would have been me.
Hmm.
It wasn't Card Captor Sakura, it was Card Captors, like the US version.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, I want that. I should just stole it from her. Anyway, um, but to tell you about the amiibos, to cut to the chase, this was the same night as the Edaguro panel, so we were partying like crazy. And that night, I still they're in my jacket pocket, and I slept on them. And when I woke up, I was like, oh, I bought amiibos, and everyone was like, what the fuck? Like you didn't mention those last night. I'm like, yeah, I remember buying them now that I'm sober, and I put them on the table. And I had one of them was Samus from Metroid, and oh, it's too
Uh-huh.
far, I can't reach it. And I had broke her arm because I was sleeping on it. I had broke it off, and it snapped off, and it was missing, and we never found it. So I have a Samus that's missing an arm, and I'm like, oops. Don't drink and sleep on your amiibos, kids. It leads to problems.
Okay, Manuel. Thanks for the lovely advice.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my that's my swap meet ALA story. Um, for the record, like Eunice wasn't with us. Um, Kaz wasn't with us. But there's been a long running thing like between the three of us that we always drunk swap meet shop, like as in con swap meet. Um, but Eunice was doing her own thing. Kaz was in Japan, and I didn't want to spend money. So actually, the whole experience, even though it was fun as fuck, I was like, why did I do that? I should have just stayed in the room. Uh, to be honest, I think my big fear, because that was the day I was giving out my badge a lot to people. Not because I didn't want to go to the con, but because like I was talking to someone like, hey, can I borrow your badge for a minute? Because they wanted to like be able to run in and out to somewhere, or supposedly. Um, and they'd be gone with my badge for like 2 hours, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do anything now, you know. And if I hadn't gone downstairs for the swap meet, I think somebody wanted to get my badge to go cut the line for me, like in my place. So
Uh-huh.
I was just afraid they disappeared my badge, which didn't matter because I fucking disappeared with it down there for like an hour or whatever, talking to Alice and them. So so yeah.
That
Anyway,
sounds cool, Manuel.
anyway, so on the last night, it turns out kind of a fucked up story because the story
This is a
goes.
fucked up story.
So the story. So okay, we'll just say what it is. So this actually isn't even news anymore because this is like made. This is made like legit quote unquote. Well, okay, it's arson. So of course it made local news. It made like local news like crazy. Like all the local news channels covered it. Like it's in SoCal. I think even NorCal. Like all of California covered it. Um, that somebody set a car on fire outside of one of the hotels, and it ended up spreading to several other cars. Um, so that's whatever, not whatever, but that's the story. But the fact that it was at a con, and when more details emerged, it kind of made like national news, especially on the con level. The as in like the con scene level, I mean to say. But but I don't know.
So funny story. One of our roommates, he's like anxiety, so he was like, "I'm gonna get my own hotel room for tonight, just like calm down." And we're like, "Okay, that's cool, that's fine." So we helped him go to his room and everything, and then he came back party with us, and then like we were all getting ready to pass out, so he went back. He was kind of he was kind of drunk, so he said, "Yeah, I was heading back. There's like a whole bunch of people like screaming, and like there's a fire." And I just stood there for like 5 minutes staring, and then I
No.
just went to my room.
So it's the last night of the con. We already did our last panel. We already did our tried to do our group picture, and I told this story. I won't tell the whole story, but I was in a really bad mood because nobody wanted to party anymore. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be a lazy night. And then right when I was giving up, and I was like, I'm not gonna go to sleep. But right when I was like giving up, I'm like, I'm just gonna like just put the TV on and play some Switch or whatever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like people start showing up to drink, and I'm like, oh shit. So it turns into a long night of partying, and then we go downstairs to the lobby, and we're partying, and as we're partying, people are like spilling in, and they're telling us that there's this huge fire going on across the street, and the story, like I like mind you, when we're partying like crazy in the lobby, everyone's like, it's lit, ALA's lit, hashtag ALA's lit,
It is lit. It's
and
lit.
yeah, and like we're all laughing, having a good time. But then, like, the story's a lot more darker. I'm trying to make light of it. But
It gets it's like you start here, and then the more you hear about it, it
oh
gets
yeah,
darker,
so yeah,
darker,
so it
and
started.
darker.
So we already mentioned like somebody set the car on fire. There's actually like I think if you like Googled it, first of all you Google it, you probably find it right away. Like arson, ALA, convention fire, what cars.
Anime convention car fire.
Yeah,
There you
you'll
go.
find it. There's actually the footage is leaked of like the surveillance footage where you see him pouring the gasoline, lights it on fire.
Dude, he was like trying to be edgy, like trying to flick like a cigarette to like light it
Yeah.
on like some anime character. But he totally failed, and he had to get like a match and just like actually
Yeah.
light it. Like how? I'm sorry, I find that really sad. Like I
Uh,
pity him a little bit.
so he set that. Well, I pity like I pity everyone involved. And so
Oh no,
he set the
definitely.
car on fire, and it ended up spreading to six other cars. So seven cars were engulfed. I think five or four were totaled, but like two or three. To be honest, if my car was on fire and it's all like burnt, I mean, I wouldn't want to drive that anymore. But I guess some of them were still like drivable. Um, but like 4 cars I believe were totaled. Like they're just like a hunk of metal. Um, and the story ended up coming out that he was a cosplayer. Now, I mentioned this briefly last week. I actually kind of know the guy, and I kind of know the girl involved. Yeah.
What?
They used to do a not TV show, a YouTube show. God, it was a Power Ranger parody show. I forgot what it was called. And I met them.
Oh yeah.
I only know, sorry. One of my friends who actually was partying with us at ALA, funny enough, one of my friends who's like an editor by trade, um, he would go and he would help them like like that's his day job, like do his other stuff. But like pro bono, he would go and help them and film and he would edit like those shorts. And I think he even appeared in one or two. So so I knew them. I didn't realize this until later, and I'm like, when I saw pictures, I'm like, I know her and I know him. It's like they're the ones from that show. So yeah, they apparently knew each other from the show, from a couple years back, and I guess like he was like infatuated with her, and she was in a relationship
See, I
already.
looked at his profile picture and like I'm not one to kink shame unless like it calls for it. But man, this dude, like, his whole profile was so weird. Like, it was, like, from, I want to say, like, 2014 on up, he was, like,
Oh,
repost the same profile picture, and, like, oh my god, it's, like, a wild ride. I'm gonna, like, link it, honestly. I'm gonna try to find it again and link it, like, in the description,
yeah.
because, like, y'all need to see it. It's wild.
So it turns out that he's infatuated with her, and she already has a boyfriend, uh, and for whatever, that's just not even an issue. She wasn't interested. We don't even need to say she has a boyfriend, because I always find that like there's the whole thing about like
Yeah.
if you're not interested, you're not interested. You don't have to use the excuse that she has a boyfriend. So she wasn't interested, and so he apparently turned to stalking her, and I guess like at ALA there was a particular encounter where she was like shut him down again, and so he set her car on fire, and he was arrested. He was like they've since like doxed the fuck out of him, which is I'm not gonna go into the moral issues there, but it's happened, and I don't know if it's really doxing because like when it's a police thing, it's public, so you can technically go look it up anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
It's already public, so it's, like,
but
half
like
doxing everything.
yeah, I mean it's only doxing because they did the work for you, and it's all on the internet now. But so he was so that's the reason I know this because it was listed on his police report thingy on the filing. So he was like charged with arson and actually stalking. I forgot though. I actually didn't realize that that was like its own like yeah, I'm so used to charges being so sugar coated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like in terms of what how they're worded, but that was just like stalking. But yeah, stalking and an arson. So he was charged with both. And as far as his bail was set to like $1 million or some crazy amount.
Holy
Uh,
crap.
yeah, it wasn't. I mean, mind you, the way bail I can't say that word. The way bail works is that you pay a percentage and whatever. So technically, you probably still get out, but I don't think he has that much money on who does. Um, but but yeah, so he's in jail as far as I know, still to the second. But that was a crazy story, and that was kind of marked the end of like, oh, the party's done. And actually,
ALA was lit.
I'm actually dreading ALA 2020 because there's gonna be a lot of changes. Like not even because of that. Um, but the hotel that I stayed at for was the Ontario Gateway, which used to be a Radisson. Now it's a Gateway. Now it's called the Ontario Gateway.
Ratchetson.
Yeah, everyone calls it the Ratchetson because it's so run down. It flooded a couple years back.
It's it's gonna be a Marriott
Yeah,
next
it's gonna be a
year.
Marriott. And
But we're all still gonna call it the Ratchetson.
don't get
Like it's ALA culture. You
don't get
can't
me
change
yeah
that.
don't get me wrong. I don't think it's gonna like improve that much, but I do think that they're not gonna be too keen on the wild partying that's been going on there for the past few years, and that's not even anything to do with this year, which I think is not gonna help, but I definitely think that it's gonna cut things down a lot because it's now a chain hotel. There's more standards to put up, even if it's still gonna look ugly as fuck. Um, oh,
So, fun story. Kiko High stayed in the residence, and like that's like the most strictest hotel out of all the hotels. And funny enough, our building, so like the residents like put up like in like buildings, like apartment buildings. You know, like how apartment buildings work. It's set up just like that, except like smaller scale and like all that. So our building was actually pretty cool because like everyone else was kind of partying, and we were just like like eventually we all met like the people that were in the rooms, and we just like I don't know how to say quietly agreed like, hey, we won't tattle on you if you don't tattle on us and all that. Like it was pretty chill, and we got to like get a little loud and everything. It was pretty fine, but some people weren't as lucky. Some
No,
people got
yeah,
kicked out. We saw someone get kicked out by staff like a few doors down. So,
yeah.
but our residence building was pretty cool because like everyone was partying. Even like the building next to us, they had like a normie family in there, but they were even in on it, and because like their kids are fucking loud too. But
Oh my god. No, there was I mean, they were there for the con, but there was this family who was staying at the Ratchetson, the Ontario Gateway, who I kept seeing every day, and like I'm like, why are you staying here? And I mean a family. I don't mean like it was like
like a regular like a normie family.
yeah, but they were there for the con. Don't get me wrong. They were there for the con, but they look like they live locally. They think this is a good place to bring their kids. Like they're like literal kids. I mean like 8, 9 years old. Like whatever, like that.
No,
And and
no.
like mind you, and at that hotel, and which they clearly got to was the cheapest. Like that's obviously why. Because like people like even if they came down during the morning, people were just like a bunch of assholes around. I'm one of them. Everyone's just around, like saying things they probably shouldn't out loud if there's kids around, but like you don't expect it to be kids. Um, but yeah, I kept seeing them like, oh my god, I don't know. So yeah, and not only that, but even though the con was at the Ontario Gateway again, like there was like every room in the Gateway was used. Like I don't mean like the hotel rooms. I mean the actual programming rooms. They were all
Mm-hmm.
occupied. For some reason, ALA doesn't count that as one of its locations on the website. So I don't know if they're already updating that next year. I don't think anything's gonna be at the Radisson or the Marriott. I bet. I just think its days are numbered, and I don't know. I worry about ALA because like that's what it's known for. Like they know it as an ALA knows it because like Fanime, it's a con that happens in NorCal. Like that con's also known as a party con if you're into the scene, quote unquote. But the con itself cracks down on it like crazy, and they actively say like no 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 no. But ALA, they like embrace it probably as much as they legally can. Like and they
Because I
actually
think that's like the only good thing about ALA is that it's actual party con.
yeah, like it's meant to be that. Like everyone knows that. That's what it's become. That's what it is.
I
Um,
mean, the cosplay deviants party and like the DJs and like all these little after parties and like I know the who was it? Senpai Squad? Yeah. So Senpai Squad had a party um at a house, like an Airbnb, like they rented out an Airbnb and everything. They had a party in it, and they got the owner and a couple other people got their Itasha cars towed by some cops at the party, and then the party got shut down
yep.
and everything, and they got cited and whatever. But I mean, they still went ahead and did it.
Oh my god. I don't know. That was I don't know. I worry about ALA in the future. I don't think it's gonna be the same when because for those who didn't know, like that hotel we stayed at, like they rent the whole thing out. Um, they rent the whole thing out for the sake of the convention so that they can party. And so the hotel knows what's going on. Like when the LobbyCon thing happens, we call it LobbyCon, but that's like literally like the whole lobby is like lit. No pun intended. Not to go back to the fire thing. The whole lobby's like lit. Everyone's partying, and staff doesn't give a rat's ass about it. They're just they're letting you do you, as long as no one.
As long as long as no one dies or gets
Yes,
in
as long as
significant.
nothing like outright like deadly or illegal happens, they don't care. And to be honest, I think even the illegal part is very very lax. Um, anything like harmful illegal. I don't know. Anyways, that's ALA. I didn't really talk about that much.
Yay. ALA was lit. TLDR.
TLDR.
Okay.
Sorry for going on that long about it. People still watch.
ALA was. I mean, I think it was pretty. It was a pretty eventful con for all of us. Like,
It
no
was.
matter if you
I'm
were
definitely going back
guesting,
next.
not guesting.
Yeah. Max was supposed to be a guest there, and she wasn't able to come. I don't know. You gotta talk to Max. Like, I looked at the Frontier flights and everything. They're really cheap. I don't know why she didn't come. Um,
Frontier. Okay, to be fair, Frontier's ass.
but
I
it's
would
cheap.
not want to put Max. Okay, but Max is pure. She deserves American Airlines or better.
No, because I was looking it up. Like, this is dirt cheap, and I don't want to spill like too much of the behind the scenes stuff. They offered her pretty decent things. I don't know why she didn't just pay for a cheap flight like that and just come. Um, I don't know.
She also just
We
got
could have
back from like a cruise,
we could have like
like a
crowdfunded it or
2 week
something.
cruise.
We could. I
I
mean,
would have.
we could have crowdfunded a plane ticket. Now that I think about it. Anyway, that's done. Um, to be honest, I'm kind of glad she did it because I don't know if I would have went to her stuff. I probably would have been just like get her here and then just ignore her. I mean, not that I'm pretty sure not that she thought that we'd all hang out or whatever, but I would have almost definitely have ignored her. Um,
She probably would have been scared of you.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have wanted to hang out with me and my people anyway. So that probably would have been for the best.
That's the
Um,
reason why I don't room with you, and it's that reason.
oh, you're worse than us. Like nobody had seizures in our room.
I'm. Oh my god, there was one time someone. Okay,
And
my
no one
friend had
steals
a
our
seizure.
alcohol. No one steals alcohol from our room. Oh,
My boyfriend was
oh
drunk.
my god! I keep forgetting on the podcast. We're throwing accusations. Anyway, this is the drama podcast. This is Ultra Podcast drama. Oh,
This is the call out. This is the call out podcast.
no, like I told everyone. I hope everyone's watching because this is gonna get no views on YouTube because we're not gonna have any of the good tags. But we're having a nice chill one. Everyone's still in the chat. There's some people still watching us apparently. If there's anyone still in the chat, feel free to sound off. We're gonna move on to some other topics. I don't really want to talk about the Maho thing anymore because that's the.
Maho, it happened. Not all fans are bad. Let's all blame management. Blame management. Don't blame fans, because not all fans are evil.
It's
TLDR.
funny though because like I don't know if I think it was Kelsey actually because Kelsey was looking into it a lot. She doesn't know anything about idols apparently. She looked into the story. Or it was Jasmine. I don't know who it was. Doesn't matter. But apparently, some fans are even saying that the guy who stepped down, that they feel it wasn't even him, that he kind of just took the fall for someone even higher than him, because I guess some fans know him because like I didn't know this, but apparently like in the handshake event you could also meet the managers. I actually never heard of that. But
What? You can do that?
yeah, I've never heard of that. But then again, I've never gone to
Like,
one of these.
I know you can run into them sometimes, and they'll be like,
No,
super
I mean,
cool,
like-
they'll take
like-
a picture with you.
No, that's apparently an event. Like you get a ticket to ask a manager a question or whatever. So apparently a lot of fans know him, and they're not like best friends. But you know what I mean. They see him. They see him. They probably see him more than the idol because they actually talk to him. You know what I mean. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean. They actually talk to him normally, without being really chased off. So a lot of fans were saying that like it wasn't his fault, whatever. So yeah, do blame management, but blame the right management. Blame Aki-P got out of this scot free,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know the whole thing. And what's also doubly sad about the whole thing, we kind of touched on this a bit, but I don't remember the names. I don't want to name them all anyway because there's actually several. A lot of other idols. A lot of them retired. That makes sense because they're probably able to speak more freely. A lot of other idols came out in support, and that was the part that really like was upsetting. It's like, dude, but it kind of got swept under the rug. I don't know if you knew this. I don't remember her name, but there's another member of NGT48. She's out for surgery. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Do you know the conspiracy theory?
What?
Because she's out for surgery, and everyone knows that she's Maho's like best friend in like NGT, and everyone's like she's not coming back, like she's getting graduated, like that's their way of graduating her quietly, and they're all like, is there even a surgery? If the surgery does happen, why is it like 3 or 6 months? It's like they're gonna just hold it off until no one's talking about this anymore. Obviously, they'll talk
I
about
mean,
like the fans will talk
but
about it, huh?
from what I know about her, I think she's actually like going through like foot issues.
Yeah.
So I think that's why.
Well,
Because my friend, like, he injured his foot in an accident, and it took him like a few months to like just get back walking normally. I don't
sorry.
know. I see that, but y'all are reaching with that conspiracy theory.
Well,
I don't
I'm
know.
not. I have no idea who any of these people are. I had not, to be honest. Um, this is the first time I've ever talked about NGT48. And by the way, we talked about this like here. We talked about it last week. We actually talked about it at the panel at ALA, the HE plus one. So I had never in my life ever spoken of NGT besides as a footnote as one of the other 48 groups. So this is all news to me one way or the other. But I don't know. It's still going on. Either way, it made worldwide news in terms of like
It
media
got a
outlets.
CNN post. That's
Yes,
how
like
big it was.
yeah, there wasn't enough visuals for there to be like a video, like to be like what Michan shaving her head or whatever. But there were many articles from mainstream worldwide press. So, but they managed to sweep it. They managed to essentially sweep it under the rug. Um, it's done now, and even if it expands a little more, it's past the point where anyone outside of the local scene will care. As in like it might make a little hubbub there, but no one's going to report on it anymore. Um, I don't know. Anyway, besides that, Crunchyroll Expo is coming up in September. By coming up, I mean it's really far away. But they announced a really cool special guest, Konaru.
Who?
Junji Ito.
Oh, that's right. Oh my god, I really want to go
I
now.
like how you asked. Oh shit! I took over our layout. I like how you asked who and you actually meant it. I thought you were just playing around. I was like,
No, I was like, wait, what?
oh,
And then I remembered. Oh, Tim, yes, I want to. That's the reason why I want to go.
do you want to hear a really funny joke, Konaru?
What?
So it's a knock knock joke, but you got to start it, okay? So you can start it.
No.
Just start it.
Knock,
Huh?
knock, knock.
Who's there? Oh, I got you. You got pranked. Oh. It's a stupid ass joke that fucking Angie was telling everyone at ALA.
I
Angie.
like Angie. Okay, since it's an Angie thing, I like it. But who was originally from you?
No,
I
Angie
probably
would
would
not.
think
No,
like,
no joke. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, everyone everyone in Twitch and YouTube land who was like that wasn't funny. Yeah, that wasn't fucking funny when Angie did it either. So Angie did it. Sorry to jump back to ALA though. By the way, so Angie is one of our people. She's been on the podcast before. She was on an episode. I think the last time she was on, it was just me and her. So it was like a year ago. I think it was almost exactly a year ago. Um, so she's telling me this joke, and she's laughing her ass off. Like she hasn't said a word. She's just giggling to herself. She's like, Manuel, like Manuel, you want to hear really funny jokes? Like she's like, okay. And she's like has to calm herself down. She's like, okay, it's a knock knock joke, but you have to start it. So I go knock knock. She's like, who's there? And then she starts laughing like hysterically. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's not that funny. It's not really funny at all, but it's not that funny. Like I can't laugh on cue. I can't fake laugh.
it's funny.
But
It's
she
funny and cute because it's Angie, but I didn't laugh because it's you.
knock knock. Who's there? And she's like, it's so funny because then you say that you don't know what else to do, and it's like, and she did that too. She's like, you got pranked, and I'm like, I don't know if I got pranked. It's like okay, Angie, you win this round.
Okay.
It's like poor Angie. That's her idea of a joke. Anyway, but no,
No, she did good. You're just
she did
unoriginal.
good. Okay. Um, I think she's actually streaming right now on her own channel. But anyway, don't turn to that. She's
Ooh,
staying here. Um,
everyone, go to her channel. Tell her we said potatoes.
no, it's funny because like, she streams like, cause she's like the manager of like the UC Irvine like esports league or whatever like that, like their team or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So she's pretty well known like in the in the Twitch scene. Like she's not like Ninja, but she's like a pretty big streamer in her own right.
She's a big name.
Yeah, like relatively speaking, so I go in her chat sometimes, and she has her chat is super active, and then I join in like with A to J play. She's like, Manuel? And it's just so funny. It's like, eh. And it's so funny because, like, I know Angie. I'm partying with her. She's telling me dumbass knock knock jokes. And yet, in that setting, where it's like this, like, it's like 100 people, it's about like 70 people watching her, and like 50 some odd people in the chat. And then she acknowledges my comment, and I'm like, oh my god, Angie noticed me. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I know Angie. Um, I don't know. I don't know. That's like weird pseudo idly things right there. Konaru, explain this concept to Manuel, who doesn't know. Angie wins this round. Oh God. Yes.
She wins everything.
She wins everything. Um, yeah, Ed knows Angie. She's Oh, we didn't even talk about that. I'll just say it real fast. Angie and Dempop. Angie and Tiffany have a unit called Dempop, and they performed at ALA, and it was a lot of fun. That no joke, Konaru wasn't there, but there were a lot of her friends there. There was a lot of like Tiffany's friends there. A lot of just random Idol fans there, who had saw us at the panels before, and they made it lit. Like, you can watch the video I
Because
have
I
on.
told people to go make it lit. Because I
No,
was like, hey guys, there's like these idols performing. Go make it lit. And they're like, okay. Because most of the time they don't have anything to do on Sundays. So
no,
I told them about it.
no. I'm not trying to like. I'm not. I'm not trying to like. How do I say this? To talk ill of anyone else, because I know quite a few idol performers. Hell, like Heidi, Molly, Konaru, even. There's like people like all over A to J even. And that's not even speaking of just our other friends, but like Tiffany and Angie, especially Tiffany, is really good.
Tiffany's so good.
Um, and like Angie is not as good, but she also sings really well. And don't get me wrong, once again, this isn't like calling out anyone, but there are very few idol type performers. Especially like Tiffany, obviously is kind of exception because she's Japanese, obviously, but there are very few idol type performers who sing. I don't know why. There aren't that many. In general, like generally speaking, like if you go to the OIC group, not to say probably not like a huge, not a
You're calling
majority.
us out. We get it. Oh my god.
No, a lot of them don't sing. Don't get me wrong. I love. Have I told you my? You know this. I actually. This is a little. People still watch. You get to know a little secret about Manuel. It's not like a bad secret, but you get to know the secret about Manuel. I actually am a huge fan of Odottemita videos, and like Konaru knows this. I tell her all the time, like including this podcast. Usually, before we start the podcast, I'm watching like a series of videos, like 'cause I don't really have that much time in front of the computer. But when I'm here for the podcast, I'm already sitting in front of it, so I catch up to a lot of my favorite ones. And I'm actually really big into some of the Chinese ones right now.
Oh
Um,
my god, yes.
so yeah, like
Yes, I love Kaya. Kaya's so cute.
oh my god, don't get me started. I love Kaya too. Uh, she did her her Happy Halloween, her Butterfly Graffiti is amazing. Um, she does a bunch of good ones. And there's that Chinese song, I forgot the name of it is, the Together one that everyone was doing for a while, and she does a really good version of it. She's amazing. There's a lot of other ones. There's Shishi. There's like I can go. Anyways, I don't want to go.
Earlier, no. I want to keep talking about Odottemita now. Because, like, earlier this week, I found, like, this one girl. She's in a wheelchair, but she still does, like...
Really?
Yeah, she does really good covers. And, like, I don't know, it's just, like, so unique. And she does, like, duets and everything. And I'm going to send you one. I'm going to send you one so you can,
Okay.
like...
But
She's so good. I love her.
what I like. We're on a real big tangent. I'm gonna come back. I know what we're talking about. So can I play this? I wonder. Hold on. Let me see if I can play this. Hold on, guys. I got this. I think. Oh no, don't extend. Don't extend. Okay. Hold on. I think I got this. Let me smart capture. Smart selection. Hold on. It's gonna be kind of cut off, guys, because I can't move the window. Oh yeah, I think I can play this. I think it's gonna play. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna play it.
She's super cute. I love her.
Okay, okay. There it goes. It's finally loading. I'm like, it's not gonna load. Oh, I forgot. I can't close. Sorry, guys. Okay, there it goes. It's playing. Okay.
I'm watching.
Oh, it's a little loud. Hold on. Sorry, guys. That started really loud. Okay, I put the volume down a lot. Okay.
This isn't one. I just saw this one like in my feed right now, like my recommended feed. But she has like other duet covers and everything, and I oh my god, I just love her so much.
What's
She's
her
like
name?
everything.
Hold on.
Anya.
Oh, there goes Ayan. Is that her? Ayananana?
Yeah,
Ayananana? And then, Shasu? No, it's Shirasu. I can't even. Wait,
Shirasu, yeah.
No. Yeah, Shirasu. That was right the second time. Yeah,
Oh.
Shirasu. So it's, oh my god, I've never seen this kind of thing before. This is crazy. Sorry, I threw my thing up. No,
I love it. Like, look at it. It's so pure. And,
I
like,
know, it's so pure and
hope-
wholesome, man. Like, look at it. Oh my god.
Like, huge ass shout out to her. Go subscribe to her. We'll leave a link to this video.
Yeah,
in the
we'll
channel.
have a link to this, and you
Like-
can subscribe to her.
Like, big ass shout out. Please support her. I've been watching, like, I watched all her videos, like, in the sitting, or earlier this week, and, oh, I just love her so much. And she does, like, a good job, too.
I know. Oh, hold on, let me close that. Oh, I keep forgetting I can't close us. Sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry, it's rare that I spontaneously put a video on, and I'm not used to opening and closing things on XSplit. Anyway. No, still good. I'll put a link to all that below. If you want to look up, what was the name again? If you want to look it up on your own or fast watching on Twitch, it's Ayananana.
Ayananana.
So yeah, I watch a lot of Odottemita dancers. Actually, that's actually probably what I watch on the most on YouTube. If I'm like actually watching it, like if I'm like having this background noise, I'll put on a playlist of like Let's Play things or whatever. But I'm a huge fan of them. So there's a ton of a lot of Chinese ones. One of the reasons I like Kaya is interesting because Kaya actually has a YouTube channel. Most of the other Chinese ones don't. So all you see,
you have to go look on. You have to go look on
Bilibili.
Bilibili.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I love that channel. I mean that website. Now mind you, for those of you who watch YouTube on the desktop, like if you watch on a mobile, you could read the comments, and the video stays there. You could keep scrolling, and the video stays there. Now, Bilibili also is kind of like Showroom not Showroom, well Showroom too, but I actually meant Nico Nico Doga. It's similar to that where like the comments appear on the video, but you can turn that off. But unlike YouTube on a desktop, if you go to YouTube on a desktop and you want to read the comments, you start scrolling, the video's gone, like it's a web page. But on Bilibili, if you start scrolling on a desktop, the video follows you and it stays at the corner. And I love that. It's a little thing. Now, mind you, all the comments are in Chinese, so I
have I have Google Translate on, and I think it does a pretty good job of like translating like half the stuff, and you get like the bits of it. But what do you call it? Yeah, most of it's in Chinese. There's like some instances where I actually like come across like some English comments or like Japanese comments.
There are so few. It's like, but the thing is, you can always be that cool foreigner. Because once again, just like Nico Nico, like your comment appears where you put it. So you could be like, English comment here! And it just, if you have an account, of course. English comment, which is a little difficult to set up. But there are tutorials. When I did it, it was easier, but I think now it's a little more, like, walled.
I did it like a few months ago, and it was pretty easy, I guess.
Well, because I had a friend, I helped a friend set one up, and it was like, she was complaining how hard it was for her. But there are YouTube, well, I'm sure there's YouTube, by the way, tutorials, but I actually meant Google tutorials, so just Google it, you'll find it. But like I said, when I did it, well, then again, you see, I don't use Google Translate, because I know there's a way to translate the page as, Google Translate. I just know a bit of Chinese, and then some of the characters are obviously the same if you're in Japanese as well. But anyways, that's a big random aside. To go back to OIC Idol Collection, a lot of them don't sing. Once again, I'm not calling anyone. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I love Odottemita as well. Don't get me wrong. But so Angie and Tiffany, and like all of them, like Angie, Tiffany, Angie, Ami, Angie, Tiffany, Ami, Angie, Tiffany, Ami, Marjorie. When Heidi was here, she was part of this little club too. they sing, and that's pretty rare in my opinion in the idol. This idol thing, what would the overseas idol thing? I guess
Yeah.
that's the term.
Overseas idol community.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. It really is. Um, so it's cool that they do that, especially like because Tiffany, like I said, she kind of gets a free pass because she's Japanese, but like everyone else, it's really cool. So, anyways, the live was awesome. I love that Angie sings all that. By the way, all that huge thing, which is say I love that Angie sings in Japanese. That was it. Um, by her own admission, she's not as strong of a dancer as Tiffany. She's a good dancer though. And also, she was partying with us the night before, so she was a little hungover for that performance. It doesn't show as well there, but the crowd was so into it. Like, when they did Plastic to Mercy, like they did everything perfectly, like that you see at the Idol Live, like everything. Um, they, there was what do you call that when you do that? Like you like you reach out, whatever. There was people holding each other like up. There was you owes the
Oh,
floor.
Ketcha.
Ketcha, yes.
Ketcha?
There was Ketcha. There was of course like all the calls were perfect. They were on point. People knew some of the dances. Like they did that one workout song by Banjanaimon. I forgot what it's called.
Oh,
The one
I
that has
know
all
what you're
the
talking about.
and it's like there's the part where it's like doing the arm motions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes like that forever. But there's other parts too. People knew these dances and they were just dancing with them, and it was just like most of that you can't see. Unfortunately, there's some you can, but most of it you can't see because of where the camera is. But dude, it was so lit, and everyone was cheering, and it was just like it was awesome. They were awesome. Um, it was no joke, and I told them this. I posted on Facebook. This is no secret. It was my favorite live. It's my favorite non-guest of honor live that I've been at a. It's been probably my favorite non-guest of honor live at a con. Period, and even over some guest of honors, to be honest. Because I've been to a couple concerts. I'm like, this is like, oh, this is pretty bad. I won't name names because some of them are people we might or might not work with in the future, so I won't name these names. But I've been to some like Japanese guest concerts. I'm like, oh, that wasn't worth my time. But they were on point. I was like, oh my god, they were on point. The crowd was on point. Tiffany was way on point. Yeah. Little spoiler because I was talking about Dempop at Fanime. Apparently, Dempop's not going to be at Fanime, except technically, I guess at Fanimade. Tiffany's going to do her own solo thing at Fanime, so everyone be hyped for that. Um, Angie wins that round too, and Tiffany does too. Well, they both win. Odottemita wins because that's my favorite genre video. It's funny because I don't know what the term like. Actually, I was talking to Eunice about this a long time ago. There is a term for it that I don't know, and it's not as roll off the tonguey. For what like Odottemita has its own term in China, as does the whole net idol thing. Um. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of. I'll put some links to some of my favorites. Obviously, I'll put some links to Kaya because you kept mentioning her, and
I love Kaya.
yeah.
Oh, put a link to Petcha for me.
Okay.
I'll send you a link for her
Okay.
because I like her.
So yeah, there's a lot though. There's a lot though. I can't remember all their names off the top of my head, but and especially now that I'm on the spot, I just remembered 'cause I remember she, which is C4. She goes by C4. But it's like she and she C, and it's spelled the same way as like the one of the four beauties from China is. I don't know if that's a real name. It could be because people do name their children after the four beauties, but she goes by C4 because I guess it's more pronounceable, and it technically does mean C4 if you read the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but she's probably my favorite, like my absolute favorite, and I'll put a link to her, in the description below. But I'll put that from Bilibili because if you just if you YouTube her, you'll find all of her videos. They're all a mess. Like people just re-upload them, and some of them have really bad tags, and some of them are really annoying, obnoxious, like sexy Chinese girl dances, and it's like.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
Or like it'll be the name in Chinese and it's like sexy Asian dance and I'm like, oh god, I hate you all. I hate whoever uploaded this. I'm reporting this, you know. And I'll report this and put a link to the Bilibili channel for anyone who like stumbles across this after me. But but yeah, I'll put a link to her Bilibili channel because you want to watch it there, and also because it's actually her channel, so you could support her there by watching them there. Anyways,
I think it would be cool for like Fanime. We should do like an Odottemita panel.
um, we should do that. Let's do that.
We should. Let's
Cause,
do it.
yes, Ed, come to our Order to Meet the panel. You know what? It's funny because I was talking to some friends of mine. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we're gonna do this for that panel. That's not what I'm trying to get at here. But I want to interview some, especially some of the Chinese ones, because I'm like that's such an untapped market. Even the Japanese
Hmm.
ones, I guess, because who interviews them for like for such like that we do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a set list of questions. I'm gonna do that. Um,
I want to interview DDD.
Oh my god. We gotta do fucking Ayan what I said her name earlier, Ayanana? We gotta do fucking her, she's amazing. Um
Yes, I want to do Ayananana.
anyhow, but yeah, we were thinking about new panel ideas for Fanime because the Fanime panels are open. And it's not that I don't want to. Well, we're definitely gonna do the variety panel again because I want to get that right. It's not that I don't want to keep. And that one of the reasons I love that panel in general is because in theory, that panel can always be different if we're not lazy, and if we're willing to like
Yeah.
to put the time in for props. That can always be different. Um, but the other panels, I don't know. I feel a little burnt out with them. We're definitely gonna do like a VK fashion panel, which is fashion and makeup and hair, so it's gonna be a little different. Um, Everyone wants to do Edoguro again, and it makes sense to do it because it's one of our most popular. But I don't know if I want to, just because I'm very, what's the word? Very fickle when it comes to like doing the same thing over and over again. It's
Uh
like
huh.
I don't know. It's a personal thing. I just don't like doing the same thing over and over again. Even when I change up the panels, there's only so much you can change. After a while, you're just updating. And Edoguro is really hard to change because a lot of it's by definition, it's the same thing. It's not like an idol thing where there's new idol stuff. Sure, there might be a new popular Edoguro artist, or there might be new works by the artist, but that's kind of a very non-changing thing. Um, so I don't know if I want to do that again. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to break that to Danny. If she wants to do it, she can do it on her own. I just don't want to take up one of our slots with it. Anyway, order to be the panel that's happening. Fanime 2019.
Yay.
Or it's happening if they give it to us, but we're definitely submit it. We've actually, no joke, we've submitted countless panels. Like, we've always gotten the max, too. We've submitted the max panels at Fanime for the past several years, and only one panel has ever been denied. One ever. And it's the one
And what
that
was that?
it bothers me the most. I'll never let it go. It was Idol 101, the last year Heidi was there. And, not only was it the last year Heidi was there, because we had did it the year before, and it was a pretty packed room. Like I think that was actually our most packed ever. The year we did it in 2015. Um,
Uh huh.
so and I think ever like in any con even. For I don't want to one we've never gotten that many people ever again. It was like almost we were in the biggest room. It was almost 100 people. It was in the afternoon. It was probably I think it was actually about 100 people. So anyways, that panel would have been Molly, Tiffany, Heidi, and that would have been like the trifecta right there. And they've never been on a panel together, and it never happened. It was never meant to be.
F.
Yes.
Press F to pay respects.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm just like, ugh. They didn't give it to us, and that's the only panel that Fanime has ever denied us ever. Like we've done some panels there that actually I think they've all been relatively popular, but there've been a couple that I'm like, that was okay. I didn't really want to do that. Like some of the VK ones we tried, um, but that one I was so surprised they can't. I don't know why they put us on a wait list, and Heidi couldn't commit to like a time change, and Tiffany couldn't either because of the Fanime, which makes sense. So I was like, no, don't put us on the wait list. We're just not gonna do it. Rip. Press F for respects. Press big F, big capital
Press
F. I'm doing it.
big F.
I'm doing it. Capital F. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. Wow, we really just moved on with these topics. I'm just so surprised. Like here I was thinking we were gonna. I thought we were gonna end early, and we're still even if we ended it now, we're still gonna end barely on time, like the way I was thinking. Any other topics where we start wrapping up? Because I actually have quite a few announcements, and I know the way they're gonna go. That we're gonna just talk a bit more.
Just do the announcements next. We're gonna talk about them.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, I did mention earlier I want to talk about OIC a bit more because there's been a lot of changes, like not changes, a lot of new things. Because changes implies things are
Activity.
Yeah, I guess there are changes too because I noticed you guys have a new mascot and you guys like redid all the social media
Yes,
banners and things like that, which we need to do
I did
too.
it. I all did it. I did all the social media. I did all the graphic work. I'm so proud of myself. Please look at my work, guys. Thank you.
I've been trying to be more active on social media in general for A to J. I need to get someone else to do it too. If you all want to be our social media manager and just like be a Wendy's Twitter, then go ahead. I don't care. Just roast
Be a
everyone.
Wendy's Twitter.
Yeah. Just
I'll roast all the K-pop stands.
just go roast Kaya on Twitter. Does Kaya even have a Twitter? She probably has like
No,
a
does she?
Weibo.
I think she. No, wait. I don't think so because Twitter's banned over
Yeah, you
there.
can go roast her on Weibo. Um,
We're gonna make a Weibo just to
just
roast
a
her.
roaster, yeah, just a roaster specific. Just and like I'm pretty sure they don't know the Wendy's Twitter thing, so we'll just look like assholes. It won't even be like ironic. We'll just like, God, these people are jerks. Oh God, we're terrible people. No, but we mentioned that I do. By the way, I'm talking about upcoming podcast episodes because I do want to do an upcoming episode for that. There's been a VK episode in the works forever. And to be totally honest, that's just because of scheduling. Because I guess we could have did it this week, but I want to have that special cast entirely. We'll probably do it in February because Konaru's gonna be gone one of those weeks, so we'll probably do it in February. Um, I'm already gonna look into that. Speaking of February, February 12th, I believe, is the date. It's a Tuesday, whatever that date is, the second Tuesday. Um, we're doing another episode with Maniac from homicidals.com. And it's a little different because we always do the same alt title, spooky idol, whatever the heck we're calling it. Um,
Poopy.
yeah, we're not doing that this time. We're actually going to just do a very general topic. We're going to discuss the pros and cons, the good and bads, both examples and thoughts about idols performing overseas. And I think that'll be an interesting topic. And it's a very open topic. And it's,
I'm definitely gonna try to tune in at least because like
yeah,
I'm gonna be in Peru for 2 weeks. I'm actually gonna go like I'm actually not gonna be like in the more civilized parts. I'm actually gonna go like in the jungle
the
to like a
hell?
farm and everything. I'm gonna like go rule on this trip. So hopefully I can tune in. But
Hopefully
I
you actually
definitely
have
want to.
internet.
I definitely want to do. I definitely want to like tune in and like put my way on it because like I may have shitty internet out there, but I could at least put my 2 cents on it. And
So we'll see who have that one. It'll definitely be me and Maniac. We'll see if we get who else we get for that one. I'm aiming for Max. So we'll see. Um, like I said, we have VK1. We have a lot of other ones soft planned, but we have no dates for them. I did intend to take a break at the start of March, but I kind of feel like I don't want to, so I think we'll just wait till the end of March. And by the way, like Konaru have breaks here and there. Obviously, she's gone for a week, so it kind of more depends on when I want to take one. So I'll probably take one at the end of March. Mainly because this one's a little shaky. I didn't get the schedule as good as I wanted to because of ALA, and we skipped a week because of ALA. So I feel like we should go longer before we take a week or two off. And even as everyone knows, usually what always marks a week off is when we have Heidi on because Heidi does an odd day. She does like a Friday, and we'll just upload that on the week we're not on. So that's probably what we'll do. We'll just hide it so for people on YouTube never know we take any time off, but we do, kinda.
kind of.
Anyway, um, so yeah, we have the Fanime stuff coming up. We have a lot of other cons coming up. I don't know what we're doing. Like, I submitted this for a lot of cons. I want to do the Japanese Food Expo, so hopefully we go to that and we eat some good food and talk to you about good food. Comic Con Revolutions on Ontario. It's the same place that ALA is happening. I want to do some panels there. We're trying to do Anime Con in Fresno. I'm still waiting back on that. Um, if they're able to give us what we need in order to attend, I want to do panels there. Tiffany wants to perform there, so hopefully that happens as well. Um, Anime Impulse just happened. I didn't go to that, but that's a pretty big one that happened recently. This Thursday, I'm gonna go see Salem's Lot. They're a band that I've interviewed in the past. I might interview them again. We have a lot of other interviews in the works. I don't know. Well, they're not like idol, A-list idol type interviews, but we have a lot of interviews in the works. Which leads me to the Patreon. If you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/ADJconnections. There still is a Patreon refresh. I've been working my ass off, like getting all like a lot of site things together, getting social media more active, getting everything more active, thinking about how to get Instagram more active. Um, I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to refresh the Patreon with new tiers, joke tiers, Heidi tiers, Heidi tears. That sounds like she just cries for. I'll put that.
That sounds like a Patreon, like the highest
It
Patreon thing you
does.
can get.
No, fun
Like
fact.
Heidi Sweat. There you go.
Heidi Sweat.
Yeah.
No, like Heidi. I don't know. Actually, yeah, I don't think this is like a secret. I think we've talked about this on the podcast. So yeah, um, because I'm like, should I say this? It means it's not like bad, but Heidi can make herself cry, and which isn't
Oh, I
like
can post it.
yeah, but it was so funny. So in Japan, when we were hanging out with it was me, Eunice, and her, and so we're all hanging out getting like dinner or whatever, and like Eunice can make herself cry on the spot. Like it's insane. Like Heidi, like I see other people do it too. Like and Heidi's the same way. It takes them like they kind of they kind of have to think about it a second, then it comes. But Eunice can. I'm like Eunice cry, and she's just like. That sounds terrible. Like you just cry, but you know what I mean. Like she can. Oh my god, I'm a monster. Someone's gonna cut that out and just make it look like make it look like I'm a horrible person that makes people cry like that. I just make them like cry. Damn it. It's even gonna cut that out too. I'm gonna add it to it. But but no, no. Like you can basically make her cry on command. I'm like, and she literally like the way she does it is hilarious too, because she'll look up for like literally like a second, and then when she looks back down, there's already tears in her eyes, and it's like what the fuck. So anyway, so there's one particular time when like they were trying to get me to pay for the bill. And like for the record, I didn't. For the record, I'm like I am falling for these like
Wow, what an asshole.
I'm not falling for. I made two girls cry because they wanted me to pay it. That didn't work. Um, so Eunice did it, and then like Heidi's like, oh my god, like what the heck, like Eunice, you made yourself cry, and she's like, I can too. So she so she like stops for a minute, and then she started crying, and I'm like, what the fuck? And mind you, we're not like outside. We're not walking to the restaurant. We're sitting in a restaurant in Japan, and I got fucking two girls crying across the table from me, and I'm like, oh my god, it was so embarrassing, especially because it's Japan, because everyone's probably like, what the fuck, what's going on at that table, like fucking foreigners, um, but but no, they started crying, and my point to this is that was a really long-winded way to say this. That'll be like the tear, like Heidi like cries, wipes her tears, and sends you the dirty nap towel, which is a really disgusting tear. No, we're not doing that. Anyway,
I don't think you could send bio stuff through the mail.
Well, you can. We just won't say what they are. Oh God, I'm getting arrested now. That's how Manuel gets arrested by the federal police. She could like these are disgusting tears. I'm joking, by the way. We're not really doing this, but she could like wipe her sweat and then like in like a towel, like a cheap Daiso towel, and send that to us. That'll be a tear, like you said, the sweat. After,
Yeah.
and we'll make sure it's after an idol live, so it's like it's doubly rare sweat, and it's very limited. Like I mean, not that she actually does a lot of lives, but I mean to say that it's not as she can make herself cry whenever, but you can only have like one towel you wipe your sweat with after an idol live, basically each one. And then she can write what the live is and sign it. Oh my god, this is happening. I'm talking to Heidi. No, Heidi's gonna be like, "What the fuck, man? You'll shut up." I'm not even. She's gonna. Next time she's on, make sure to tell her these ideas we had.
You know what? No, I'm gonna tell her and be like, you know what? You can make a little bit of money off this. Just take all the money.
Oh my god, this is terrible. Anyway, so but yeah, we have a lot of post ideas. God, that was a long way to talk about Heidi. We were talking about Heidi so that's how you'll know when we go on break. Um, that was a long-winded way to say that. There's a lot of things out of the archives. I'm trying to put up. Now I know I've said that in the past before, but if you go to our YouTube channel, I've already made it happen. If you watch the podcast, you might have already seen them all, but you can see the Clay's sister. That's the
Oh
the cream
yeah.
pasta we did. I put that with music, so that's a little different. Um, I do want to get together all the thumbnail montages, like because I filmed those, and I mean I don't know if they're that funny to watch. But you can watch how we do those, and every so often we say stupid shit before and after them. Sorry. Some of that I don't really want to put up there. I'll put it up if it's us or like some people I really know. But I feel weird putting
Yeah.
some of the offshoots because like it's not even that we say anything bad. I just feel weird putting stuff up that that they didn't know I was recording them. Not that I meant to, but just because I hit record, we do the thumbnail and I forget, and I have a lot
Well,
of
I always think it's like insinuated that you're recording.
yeah. Anyway, well, if I end up doing a real behind the scenes things, like, because I actually posted one. If you look, I posted one from our very 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 first podcast ever. I posted that pre video that Rose did that we didn't know that she was recording, and so like she showed it to us later, and I put that up. We'll talk to them. Anyways, so I have that. Besides, obviously the outtakes and all the podcasty clips, I also have a ton of panels. I don't know if anyone's a real big fan of watching those. I know that some people are. Like I remember,
I like watching the ones I'm in
no,
because I just laugh at myself.
every so often it's so random. Like I think some of them find us through OIC because I know there was a couple OIC girls, but there's others like that aren't OIC, and Konaru might see these too. Like don't get me wrong, it doesn't happen every day, but over the past year and a half or 2 years, um, I've gotten about 5 to 7 or so like notifications on Twitter or on Instagram where people are all like, "Oh, watching like binging on A to J connection panels or whatever," and that's
Because
awesome.
most of the time I actually do recommend like, hey guys, if you want more insight about this and that, I did this panel or AJ did that panel. You should look into it on like the OIC stuff if they ask like, what are like some good panels to like or like just like something you can binge watch and learn something about like idol culture. I usually recommend their stuff, so I think
Oh,
that's probably due to me.
yeah, because there's been a few people I recognize from the OAC groups. I'm like, oh, it's that person. There've been a couple others who weren't, but anyway, I always feel bad because don't get me wrong, we have a lot on YouTube, a lot. But I stopped after a point. Pretty much all of last year, I didn't. I put some for Ailey, I think, but all of last year I didn't put up. So I've already edited two. Like if I edited, I mean, first of all, it's weird the way they record, but I clean them up, I straighten them out, and I same thing. They're not the best camera angles for all of them, but I want to have maybe about like 10 panels up. Um, there's some unfinished ones, like some that like the camera dies, but I want to put them up because we have a bunch that were with Heidi and Tiffany and Angie, like some of the last ones they did together. Nostalgia. Um, the alternative,
Oh,
yeah, the alternative idol panel that never got filmed because something always happened. So on. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of footage, and also I want to edit a lot of it down and just delete a bunch of it because I have so much footage of like panels, like so much. Like it's getting to the point where it's like it's no longer archiving; it's just like digital hoarding, and I'm like, I'd rather have a nice, concise edit on YouTube that I could like look at later. And if YouTube goes down, I'm sure it's not gonna go down permanently without us knowing. I'll get it down from there and rather just save that than like several dozen gigs of like raw footage of all these panels. Um. Anyway, just because archiving is a mess. Um. So on that, next week we're coming back live. Next week Tuesday, the 22nd.
yeah.
Today's the 22nd.
No,
Next
it's
week,
like the 22nd.
next week's the
The
29th.
29th.
That's Konaro's last one, I guess, until she's gone for 2 weeks. So
Yep.
we're gonna try to do the OIC one. We'll see how that turns out. I'm gonna soft announce that right now. We're gonna try to do the OIC one. So we'll see. Actually, we should be able to. We got someone. Hopefully, it's someone relevant. Like
I'm gonna try to get someone that's like on admin.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Because
Like
yeah,
um, if we get someone admin, that'd be perfect. If not, then we'll roll with it. We'll see what happens. Um,
because I can talk about it for days.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
So
saying. So for sure, that's the topic. I'm calling it right now. We don't know the guest yet, but for sure, that's the topic. We're doing OIC next week, and we're doing Maniac in 2 weeks after that. And I'm gonna try to have the schedule more, and especially now that ALA is done. I keep saying that, but you have no idea how much of a time sink that was, and especially as I got sick afterwards. I know what I'm doing, but so yeah, Patreon. Shout out to Ed and Kenneth, our current patrons. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/digiconnections. For as little as $1, you can help us do the nonsense we do. Um, maybe if I had more,
exactly.
and maybe if I had more money, I'd get a hard drive to actually save all that footage instead of deleting it. I'm not asking for a hard drive or asking for donations for the hard drive, but I'm just pointing out that money does help make these things go around, like for all these little things that we do. Um, all these little things, yeah. We also want to do more gaming stuff, so keep an eye out for that. Like Tipu keeps talking about it. And speaking of gaming, we have a really big announcement for gaming, but we're gonna announce that in a few more months. But I'll say this: A to J connections might be A to J games at some point. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
really don't know anything about this.
I told you you never remember. Anyway,
I
you,
probably don't remember.
no. When I tell you after we're done, you'll be like, oh yeah. Um.
Okay.
Anyway, so on that note, we're gonna sign out. Oh, we went exactly 2 hours. Oh my. Oh no, actually we didn't.
Yay!
We were close to it. And I'm not gonna lie. I thought we'd end
We're
early.
close.
I knew we were gonna end early. And technically, this is a 90-minute podcast. It's always been. We've done that with like Heidi several times when she has to leave. It's a 90-minute podcast. It just goes on for 2 hours usually. So we're technically already over. So anyways, good night. Thanks everyone for
Yeah.
joining us.
Good
It was
night.
fun. Thanks for hearing us talk about ALA for over an hour. Sorry. Good night.
It was the ALA special.
I know, it really
so I
was.
hope you enjoyed it.
Good night.
Good night.